one they're gated by.
I gotta push that button. Hello, everybody. How about that? I'll just say all that again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Para OR Normal Guyz. Yeah, I pushed that button before I hit the music, and I forget to unpush the button. So, oh well. At least I got a good backstage crew that lets me know. Tonight is the 13th, I believe, edition of the new Para OR Normal Guyz. Probably about our 50th overall, but who's counting? So I'd like to welcome everybody. If you're new here, tune in. We have a special guest tonight, Jesse Carroll. He is a voiceover artist, actor extraordinaire. He's going to tell us all about how to get into the biz and how to have fun while making money at home. So that's the COVID way, isn't it? But in the meantime, I've got some people here backstage as well. I've got Miss Brenda. I have Mr. Bobby Dizzle. I have Todd, the host of the Token Muddle podcast. Hello, Todd. Hi. And then I'm going to bring in our guest, Jesse. Let's see if we can fit everybody on the screen there. Hello there. All right, there we are. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all tonight?
Good.
Excellent.
Good, thanks.
Good.
I got a fresh bang ready to go. Let's do this.
What are you drinking?
A bang.
A bang?
Yeah. Bang.
I feel left out.
It's
All
like
I've got
crack
is sweet
with flavor
tea.
like peach.
Nice.
So it's like crack with flavor like peach.
I have peach tea. That's what I'm drinking.
Does it have alcohol in it, Bobby?
No, it's super caffeinated.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
Time of the day for that.
That's why I call my show the Caffeinated Cryptid, because I'm always just over-geared up on caffeine.
Yep. Coffee man.
Yes, he is. Todd, how are you? You're kind of quiet. Yeah, I know. You're kind of quiet there.
All that coffee talk, and I'm like, hey, I'm holding on.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, Jesse, I'm glad to have you on the show. We spoke, I don't know, about 2 months ago, and finally got you in here. It took us a bit, but I'm glad you're here. You have a lot of things, I'm sure. Well, thank you. I'm sure that you got a lot of things to share with us. And after a while, our resident ventriloquist is going to join in because he's interested in things you had to say. So don't be surprised if a little guy shows up that's talking. So
Do you actually have like a resident ventriloquist, or is this like a joke thing?
no, I do.
There's someone that has really.
It's real. It's terrifying, but it's real.
What kind of puppet? I can't wait to see this. Don't worry.
It's a Jeff Dunham puppet. That's all it is.
Yeah. Oh, well, wait a minute. Speak of the little devil. He has appeared.
Oh my God! Here we go. Can I take a picture?
Absolutely. Bobby Dizzle can't look. Yeah, I was gonna say Bobby Dizzle can't look it in the eyes.
God.
You just didn't expect this, did you?
No.
Oh shoot! I was muted. My bad.
Oh. Well, the little guy was still talking.
Yeah, he was trying. I said no pictures.
Too late.
Don't come it. Give all me money.
Shut up.
Oh God.
Something. Be nice, okay?
Back in the closet.
Oh
Shelby.
my God.
So we try and run a somewhat funny and real story. So
I've yet to see the funny part.
What's funny about me?
well, you're kind of funny looking. So
Shut up, Glenn.
hello, Debbie, and welcome to the show.
You're talking about JT being funny looking.
It was the hair. So
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hi, Jesse. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm JT. And this is Shelton.
Huh?
I can introduce myself.
Shelton has a small attitude.
I was going to say, you got a little bit of an
small one.
attitude, don't you, Shelton?
I know he does. Shut up, JT.
It makes
You
up for his
don't
lack
know
of
me.
makes
You
up for his
don't know
lack of
me.
genitals.
Hey, your walls are small too. Your wife told me. Shelton, you've never met his wife. You don't know that.
This show is already done for. So,
How do you keep it organized?
well,
A lot of
You
times
just
we
do
don't.
this for like
It
an
works out-
hour.
Yeah, a lot of times we don't. It just works out that way.
you are actually probably one of our bigger stars so far. I mean, we've had a few others, but this is one where we brought everybody into to talk with you. And so,
Usually it's very controlled. Like one or two people.
but no, we were excited to have you on. So everybody wanted to jump on board. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Shelton Hush. So
You hush, Glenn. Let him talk.
I can mute you.
How can I follow this? There's like literally nothing I can say.
Oh, come on, you're a stand-up comedian. You can follow anything.
I was the operative word is was a stand-up comedian. I didn't quit because I was awesome at it.
His career skyrocketed.
Yeah, exactly. If I had a Shelton, that would be the goal. Like if I
Yeah,
had
he's
I would have helped out a huge amount. Yeah. So, a bit about myself. I've been doing voiceover for the past 6 years. I've been an actor for about 10 years, and actually been a working actor for about the last 6 years, right around the same time
Wow.
as I found voiceover. So, how I found voiceover was I could not make anything work in acting. My stand-up career totally just tanked. I went on this crazy tour, didn't work out. And I was working as a nightclub manager, and I was getting a little bit older, and I lost my job, and I was like, oh my God, I got to figure something out here. So I started looking for side hustles online, and I came across voiceover, and I had no choice. I just started looking it up and checking it out and getting into it. And I started doing $5 voiceovers on a website called Fiverr. You heard of Fiverr?
No, I haven't.
Check this out.
Yeah,
That's
check
a
it out.
Fiverr. That's a Fiverr logo right there.
Yeah.
That's
All
straight
my
from
logos
Fiverr.
are from Fiverr. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a website you can sell $5 gigs for a lot of different things. One of them is voiceover. And I sold like gigs on there for voiceover for really cheap, but like really long gigs. So I could teach myself how to do voiceover. And in a couple months, I went from, making like, I think the first month I made like $50 in voiceover to clearing like $4,000 or $5,000 in the first 3 months, and then 6 figures in the first year doing it. So what I've done now, after the 6-year period where I've amassed like over 1,000 credits, I have a show on History and Hulu called Backroad Truckers that I narrate. I put together a system to teach other people how to do the same thing that I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That
So
video is pretty inspirational with the how you started with your closet or your office with the cushions and the bedspread.
Yeah, it was funny because like to get started in voiceover, you have to have a recording space that's acoustically treated. So meaning like if you're in your bedroom or your living room or something, and you've got all these flat walls around you, it's gonna make echoes and stuff. It's gonna sound like crap. So you have to put cushions, acoustic foam on the walls. But I couldn't afford any of that stuff at first. So I took like all the bedding I had in my place and I pinned it up on the walls. And I took like cushions off my couch and like made like a little fort and stuff to get going until I could actually afford to do it. So, whatever works when you start, right?
Mm-hmm. It reminded me of this office I have back here. Just the stuff I hung on the wall.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not too far off.
my very first podcast back in 2015 was a Sony micro recorder and me in the closet. So, and it was just me back then. I didn't have any friends. So,
Glad to
That's
see
the
you
best
came out of
place
the
to do
closet.
it if you got a closet for sure.
Yeah, we're glad you decided to take your show out of the closet.
yeah, I don't know that it's gotten any better, but So you do all this from, I guess, a home studio now? Is that?
Yeah, I was actually really lucky because, I'd already been doing voiceover from home for like 4 or 5 years before the pandemic hit. So when it hit and, everybody had to go home and a lot of people lost their jobs and stuff, I was like, oh my God, I have a job still. I can keep working. So it was pretty thankful about that. But yeah, voiceover now, especially since the pandemic, it's done like 90% of the time from home. It's pretty rare you go into a studio now unless you're cutting like a really big commercial or you're working for some big video game company. It's usually like a really big job that you'll actually go into a studio. Most of the time it's from home now, which is advantageous if you ever wanted to get into it because anybody can do it. Just set up at home and ready to go. All you need is a closet. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just telling Glenn that earlier, actually. Yeah. That most of the stuff is done at home now. I actually didn't get the part, but I auditioned and they wanted it clear sounds. And I was trying to be a parrot. And so what I created, like, the acoustics of a room sucks.
Let's hear it. Come on, parrot.
Look, hold on.
You can't
Green
see
screen.
it.
No, hold on. I'm changing that.
It's a box of junk.
Box?
No, look.
You stole that.
No, I created my own out of a cardboard box here. My own studio. Yes, I'm creative. Okay, and this works.
And now he keeps Shelton in that when he's asleep.
Exactly.
That's why he's so angry.
Exactly why I am angry.
Do we not get the parrot?
Yeah, where's you going to tell us about the parrot? Are you going to give the parrot voice?
Yeah, let's hear the parrot.
Yeah. Oh, we put it.
Oh, pressure.
Yeah.
We put him on the spot. He's got to think which personality it is.
Yeah. Well.
Do you even like crackers?
You can't say that,
right,
Todd.
so that's kind of. Shut up.
Saltine American.
Same Big Brother, okay? So. Oh God, y'all really would put me on the spot like this. I was just talking about it.
I'll wait for the movie.
So the Polly want a cracker thing is how I ended up starting the voice out. I was like, Polly want a cracker? All right. So I have this. I can't do it.
He signed a non-disclosure, so
a script. I can't do it. I've got it recorded.
Okay. All right.
So I'll send it to Glenn. I have to focus.
Put a parrot on Shelton's
Too much
shoulder.
pressure.
That's an idea.
You don't put on my shoulder. No.
It's hard to be serious. So, Jesse, since you do everything from home, do you get to meet any of these celebrities or reality TV stars, or is it all remote?
It's all remote. So, I mean, the show that I've done, Backroad Truckers, for the past 2 years, I've talked to most of the cast via Instagram. But it's so funny because I've been working with them and narrating the show for the past like 2.5, 3 years, past 2 seasons, and I've never met any of them.
That's crazy.
Even the people that work in the company where I'm cutting the voiceovers, I'm talking to them like via the internet, like using Source Connect and different things you use in voiceover. So yeah.
So that's similar to the way that Mythbusters used to do when they sent it down to Australia to the guy to voice over the episodes.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but exactly. Like, I mean, you can do voiceover in any country in the world from where you are. It's all done remotely now. Sometimes I do like mobile games for China, which is
China.
Yeah, China.
What about that Nintendo commercial? Was that for the corporate gigs or was that a commercial?
That was actually a corporate Nintendo commercial.
Okay.
So that was an interesting one because when I did that, there was a whole bunch of different people on the line. There was people in Japan that were speaking Japanese, a translator who was talking to a director who was in LA, who was talking to me, and I was in Vancouver in Canada. So it was wild. It was a wild one. You hear somebody talk for a bit, another person talk, and another person talks and tells you something you understand. So yeah.
You wait for the English?
Yeah, I just wait for the English. Usually I wait when there's a whole bunch of people on the line. A lot of the time they're just talking to themselves, and I wait to hear my name before I jump in and say anything. You're going to do your takes, and they're going to talk about it for a bit, and then they're going to tell you what to do.
The most ironic part about that video was how I was talking about get the Switch in more people's hands in 2019. Well, they didn't know that in 9 months from there, every motherfucker in the world is going to have a Switch in their hand. I was laughing. I'm like, man, they really just sort of sold themselves short.
Yeah.
I mean,
We can
most
swear
popular
on this
item on the
show. That's
planet.
cool. Swear on this show.
Oh yeah, we
God.
we're not that uptight, so. Hey, quickly, I want to shout out. Debbie posted on here that she was here for JT because you
It's
helped.
Landon. That's his grandma's account, but yeah.
Oh well, okay. Well,
With my problem.
Well,
I guess he helped her.
yeah, all right. Well, how this happened here? Hi, Landon. How are you doing? Landon, what are you doing here? All right. So I got hacked. Do you remember one episode? I was sitting here and I said, "Oh no, I got hacked on my Instagram."
Yeah.
Well, I just today, just like 30 minutes ago, I guess it was, discovered that there was messages waiting on Shelton's account on Instagram for him, and it was one of them was Landon talking to some fake girl. But I read the whole conversation. I ain't gonna go into it all. But
Okay.
I was just like, you know what? I was like, I better message this guy because he clearly was having some troubles here, and some fake account was trying to hack him, or probably trying to get money from him. You know how they do. And so I just let him know that, hey, this is not whoever you think it is. This is JT. I'm a guy. I'm not a girl. And it's actually my ventriloquist Instagram that they deleted all my videos. So I got to go and re-add them all back to Instagram. So you're going to see a big spam of that soon. And yeah, so I mean, I haven't even added a profile picture back for Shelton, but I will. But that's how I met Landon.
Cool. Well, welcome, Landon.
So this is a weird way to meet somebody.
Yeah. Well, you got him on the show, so
Yeah.
So that's good. Todd, you've been quiet. Do you have any questions there?
You want me to bring it back to Jesse?
Yeah. We can't all be about JT all the time. So
okay. My question was about technology. Like,
Yeah.
How bad off would you be without this technology? You know.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by like how bad off would I be? I'd still be working at a nightclub, that's for sure.
Well, I meant with your voiceover career. Like you couldn't. There's no way you could work with somebody in Japan and California, and you're in Canada.
Well, they've been doing this for a while, but the thing that's sort of newer, it's not so new anymore, is the fact that you can do this. The home studios now, the technology rivals anything you'd find in a studio that's, a couple $100,000 worth of equipment. I mean, that stuff's obviously a little bit better, but I mean, there's a certain point that you get with technology where only the people that are super like audio pros are gonna be able to tell the difference. So
I don't know, man. Cell phones have stepped up a bunch,
right? So what you can achieve at home is like it's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough. And yeah, I mean, back 10 years ago, even, and just a little bit before that, you would have had to go to a studio to do all your auditions, going across town to different places. And if you live in New York City like I do, that would takes up like half your day.
I come from demo tapes where it was a cassette. Like, here, man, I mixed this.
Right.
I'll tell you this. Now that you can do all your auditions from home and work from home, I'll do like 40, 50 auditions in a day. Back before you could do self-records, there's no way you could do that.
No.
So everybody's, way better off now that you can do it from home.
40 or 50 wouldn't fit on a reel-to-reel.
You're showing your age.
100%.
What's a typical audition? What's a typical audition like if you can do 40 or 50 in a day? That's still a substantial
I don't know
amount.
if there is a typical one. I'll tell you this. Most of the area that I work in the most is usually commercial. That's where I excel in the most.
Mm-hmm.
But I do a lot of corporate explainers, a lot of e-learning and stuff like that. So I would say probably the typical audition that I get is probably like a commercial, but it doesn't take me more than like, I don't know, I probably shouldn't say I spend this little amount of time, but I've done it for so long, I just know what it is. I usually spend about 5-10 minutes on each audition because it's a little amount of text. Like you're really saying like 30 seconds worth of text. So, yeah.
Now, is it mostly based on the voice or is there a rhythm to it?
Yeah, they all have different rhythms to it. That's a great question. So, it depends. And one thing you do, like when you get the commercials, like for instance, if you're doing a commercial for 7-Eleven, usually they're kind of like more fun, upbeat, which would be different than doing like a public service announcement for like, cancer awareness or something like that.
But they that's an obvious difference. But do they give you kind of a heads up? Does the director kind of give you a heads up?
The direction that you usually get is they'll say something like, we want it to sound like a real person. We want it to be upbeat. And they might give you a pacing tone. But when I first started, one thing I would do is I would just look online for the product or the brand and just see the other commercials they produced. And that would give me an idea of how it's done for that brand. Now it's kind of like I kind of get it. And a lot of them are, you've seen enough of them. If I'm doing like, 50, 60 auditions a day, every 5 days a week over the course of 6 years, I've seen just about every single brand unless it's like a new one. But there's always like a little bit of research that goes into it, unless I'm really flying. But I kind of just get it now,
Yeah.
Well, Bobby and I have some designs and some products here you probably haven't seen if you want to check them out.
Yeah, sure. What do you got?
No, I'm just talking shit, man.
I sell a coffee
so-
cup on my
What do we
website.
sell it?
Like, wait a minute here, Jolly me out.
Peach flavored crack.
He's already seen you. I'm just talking about a logo or a brand.
Ah,
We're trying to create our own.
I've got one product and that's it.
that's,
Coffee cup.
I was-
Jesse,
I was gonna say him.
so let me ask you this: doing what you do with voiceovers,
Yeah.
can that eventually lead into like doing voices for like the cartoon movies and different stuff like that?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean-
the goal. So like the jobs that I've done so far, they don't necessarily like help you get into that. It helps you with your agents, because to get into video games and animation, you got to have a really good agent who's got their foot in the door, because that stuff, sometimes they'll cast somebody outside of having an agent, but generally you have to have a good agent who's talking to all the casting directors and knows the big video game companies and the animation companies like Pixar, Lucas, and all that stuff. So I've got a pretty big agent as far as video game and animation is, but I've only been trying to get into that for about a year. Sounds like a long time, but that industry is like airtight, because the people that are in it are so good. They're so good. They do 1,000,001 voices. So I'm just waiting for my one chance to get in.
There you
and
go.
Make try and make something out of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mhm.
So is that,
You're padding that resume too as you go. So
that's where I was going.
Yeah.
You made it at the end of Pixar, right?
Well, I'll tell you this: I've done some like independent animation and video games and stuff that happen in over in like Europe and China. There's a video game that I'm working on right now that they're weird. They put you under strict NDAs. I can't really talk about it. It's not like a massive game, but it's going to be a pretty good one. But hopefully, once that comes out in the next year or two or whatever, if I haven't really gotten the video game thing rolling, that'll help push that along. But the line between video games and film acting is so thin now. It's like the same thing, because they put you in a mocap suit a lot of the time, a motion capture suit, and you're acting it out with real people while they're filming you in like a big giant soundstage area. So yeah, it's very similar. I mean, they've got there's this newish game that came out a little while ago called Cyberpunk, and their big thing was they had Keanu Reeves in that, and they paid him like $10 million to be in this video game.
Wow.
Now they've got like a second part to it coming out, and it's got Idris Elba, and he got paid like a ton of money for it. So now they're just bringing in film stars for video games a lot of the time.
Hey, Glenn,
Yeah.
Justin has a question.
yeah, I was just waiting there. Justin had asked, out of those 50 to 60 auditions, how many do you actually get a part, like a percentage of those?
Yeah, so I usually float between booking about between 1 in 30 and 1 in 40, depending. It really depends. Sometimes I'll get a big long run of stuff that I'm really good at. Sometimes it'll go a little bit dry. But generally speaking, over the course of a year, I track them. It's usually between about 1 in every 30, 1 in every 40-ish. If you're good, you'll get 1 in 40 to 1 in 50. Above that, you want to try and get coaching. But to put in perspective, there's when I first started, it took me 250 auditions to book my first part, my first actual commercial audition for voiceover.
Wow.
250. But I started figuring it out over time. And one of my first students in this course, my online course is newer. I was working with him one-on-one, and he booked his first audition, or his first job in 45 auditions. It only took him 45. So he blew me out of the water. So there is a skill that goes with it. And it's always nice to get somebody to teach you how to do it.
Do you think I can do it?
100%.
That was really loud.
100%. Do it just like that. Get in a microphone, just yell into it.
That's right.
JT, do you and Shelton perform at comedy clubs?
No, I was actually on my way to doing stuff like that, but my manager that I had, he passed away 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
So yeah, so now Glenn is he's the one managing me right now.
Oh, right on.
You're in good hands with all
Where do you reside?
We're all in trouble.
Huh? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Where do you live? Where do you reside?
I'm in Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee right now.
Okay,
So
cool.
there's no comedy clubs around here, but
Do you have open mics?
I don't know. I have never really went and looked because I didn't honestly. I've been doing this for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I just started getting public with it in October. Was the first time I just did a little stupid video. Everybody here's seen, so you guys see it later. But it was just so stupid. And some reason he got a lot of attention, and then people wanted to see more, so I started putting them out there. Then I did a Christmas special for a family out in Nashville, Tennessee, and then I did a veteran bar. Was the
VFW?
no, the other one.
Moose?
American Legion in
American Legion.
Madisonville, Kentucky, and I did a show there, and that was the only 2 shows I've actually done live, other than my TikToks and these.
Oh man. Well, I tell you, like if you really want to go for it, I would try and get to like a bigger city that has like open mics and comedy clubs and stuff like that regularly. Because as somebody who used to book comedians myself, and I've gone to comedy festivals. I did the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, which is the second biggest comedy festival in the world. I've seen like maybe 3 or 4 ventriloquists, meaning like you're a commodity. People will book you just because you're a ventriloquist. You'll get so many opportunities.
Yeah, I've called lots of agents out in Nashville, and they all tell me there ain't nothing for ventriloquist out in Nashville.
Don't listen to anybody. I tell you this. Listen, like anybody, anytime you try to do something that's, maybe a little bit off the norm, everyone's always going to say, oh, you can't do it. You can't break the mold, or it's been done, or nobody wants to see it. I'm telling you, we just like laughed for like the first like 20 minutes of the show nonstop. Like that's got to be a big indicator for you. You're crushing it, dude. You should do it.
Yeah. You better listen to him, JT. I want to get on that stage. Yeah, he really wants to get on stage and humiliate me.
Just start your own open mic in your town, man. Just talk to like a restaurant that's kind of slower and be like, hey, listen, you mind if I come and do like a show for like 20 minutes? Put up a camera, put it on TikTok.
Yeah, just do it online.
There's a big military base right there. There's got to be people coming in and out.
Yeah.
Shelton just wants your hand out of his ass. That's all. So
Shelton wants to date Annabelle. What are you talking about?
Just move down here where I'm at. We got open mics.
Where's Annabelle? At least you have Hannah.
I do have Hannah.
Please don't bring out the haunted dolls. Please, no.
Yep, that's a thing.
My girlfriend lives with Brenda.
His girlfriend lives with Brenda.
Yeah.
My girlfriend.
When is Travelers coming back? Are they going to wrap that one up?
Oh, that one's done. That's been done for a while.
I know. It was such a good show that it ended. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
I'm poking it with a stick. Come on, do it, man.
I was hoping I was coming back. I was like one of the bodyguards for like Traveler #1, who like came back to try and destroy the world, and then they just ended the show. I was like, God damn it!
Remember the big reveal that it was 9/11 was the big event.
Yeah, I don't know. I barely remember the show anymore.
Oh yeah, I remember because everybody had to get back to 9/11 to be in the plane crash.
Right.
And that was how they ended their trek and not get found out.
I got to tell you, that was one of the better shows that Canada's produced. Mm-hmm. Usually, like a lot of the stuff. I mean, I don't want to like hate on anything. I'm from Canada, but a lot of it's like not my type of humor. It's really like kind of slapstick and overdone. I mean, there's this show called Corner Gas, which a lot of people in Canada liked, and the creator of it, Brent Butt. Like I met him, he's a great guy, but I thought the show was just silly. And
what was it called?
Corner Gas.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the epitome of just silly, safe Canadian humor. And it did well, but it's nice to see something like Travelers, which is like gritty, a little bit of sci-fi to it. And yeah, I was proud of that show.
What was the show with the old guys that were in the? It was kind of a knockoff of almost Hee Haw almost, but they were in a garage.
Like Royal Canadian Air Force or some shit.
It was Oh my god! Keep going. I'll come back. But it was old from the 50s, or not the 50s, but like the 70s and 80s.
70s? Oh, like
Yes.
Red Green or something like
Yeah,
that?
Red Green Show. That's what it was. Red Green. I watched it a lot. I can't even remember the name.
When I was a kid, I used to watch that shit at like noon when I'd like come home from break from school, and
that show's so funny.
The only thing that was on. That's hardcore Canadiana right there.
Letterkenny.
I am very proud of you guys. You guys are so young, yet you watched something that was so old.
Yeah, that Letterkenny. Fred Penner's place.
Oh my God, Fred Penner. Where is the Stranger Danger on that?
I know, right?
Yeah. Sleeps underneath the log and he gets to hang out with kids. I don't know.
Yeah, they all just show up. What were they doing there beforehand? Under the umbrella tree, Fred Penner's place, and Mr. Dress Up.
Let your kids go hang out with a hobo who slept underneath a log in a park?
I need an adult.
a bootleg Ray Stevens, John Denver knockoff in the woods.
Yeah. Wow.
Bobby, I gotta commend you. You know your TV there.
Hey! I didn't get this fat and virginity by myself, you know. Even though I got 3 kids, I'm still somehow a virgin.
Yeah. Okay.
It's called the wedding band. So.
That's it. It happens.
Yeah, it does.
I used to watch the absolute shit out of those shows though, because we had satellite, and it would get these random Canadian things, and they would just play those shows over and over and over.
Were you like what is this? Do you ever watch Trailer Park Boys?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and Letterkenny.
Letterkenny. Man, those guys, they have such a cool story. Like, I don't know if you know this, but they had the idea for that show, but they couldn't get funding. But what they could get funding for was making a bunch of like YouTube shorts, like just like short sort of videos. And they blew up. They got so popular, and then they ended up getting the funding for it and made a TV show out of it. But I remember when that first came out, the first time I saw one of like their little kind of comedy bits, it was like 5 minutes, and they were making fun of people from Toronto. And I was just gutting myself laughing. I'm like, they got something for sure. A couple years later, they had their own show. Smart.
Yeah, didn't they do? It was I thought it was an app maybe that only had 5-minute TV shows before TikTok and YouTube Shorts.
Is that Vine or something?
Ebon's World or Stupid Videos.
Yeah, it was a thing where they were trying to sell the channel or sell the app and make it, but I don't think the app ever did. But then TikTok blew up right afterwards. So
yeah.
TikTok's going to rule the world, I'm afraid.
For how long? Isn't it like TikTok, like the government's getting rid of it, right? It's not thing, or they're like, you have to sell it to us, or we're getting rid of it.
I hope not. I just started an account.
I started an account too.
I'm still trying to figure it out, so I hope not.
They've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah, I downloaded Bingo. What did I say? It was Big O, and I don't even know that I understand it either. So
that's a whole different kind of website, isn't it?
That's different. Glenn tricked me into getting that thing. I said, this is not for me. I don't even know, really.
I was being a pervert. I don't really know what it is.
It's bad. It's bad.
I don't know. JT somehow stumbled upon the OnlyFans of TikTok, I think.
Yeah, that's what the
BIGIO or something like that.
Big
yeah.
O. I was trying to think you said Big O.
Not bingo. Big O. Yeah.
Big O. Maybe that's what it means. Big O. So I don't know.
You never heard that?
Look,
she had a big O.
Yeah.
I took a week off. Is this what you guys do when I'm off?
We tried to set up an OnlyFans for Shelton, but he won't let us. So
let's do it. No, we're not doing that, Shelton. Come on, please.
You kidding me?
No.
I bet Debbie would sign up.
That's somebody's grandma now. Be nice.
JT never lets me have any fun.
Glenn's need stuff. I mean, grandmas need stuff too. Glenn.
Yeah.
That took a turn.
It did. So Jesse, when you first started, you didn't have an agent. I guess you were on your own.
Oh, for voiceover? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had like an acting agent, but I didn't have a voiceover agent in that agency until like I started making some serious money. Then they were like, "Yo, okay, we'll take you on for voiceover too." But you don't. The thing about voiceover is you don't really need an agent. An agent helps once you start getting work because they can bring you bigger jobs. But if I lost my agents right now, it wouldn't really make much of a difference because I could just get all the work on my own. Because voiceovers change. Like most of it's like done on casting sites. Like there's voiceover sites like voices.com, Voice123, Fiverr. You can get work on Upwork, Freelancer, or just market direct to clients. Like,
do they get a percentage?
Those websites?
No, your agent.
Oh yeah, they get a percentage. Yeah.
So that would be a difference, right? If you wouldn't have to give up that percentage.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't have that work if I didn't have the agent. So I get 90% of work that I get from them. But if I didn't have it, I'd have 0% of zero. So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, agents can bring you big jobs, but you don't need one to get started at all. You can get going on your own.
What when you use voices, what's the benefit of voices.com? Is that a good place to start?
Yeah, it's the best place to start in my opinion because you don't have to deal with invoices and stuff. Like everything's done completely on the platform. But the downside of it is they take 20% of your income plus you have to pay a membership fee.
Yeah, $500.
It's $500, but if you book 1 or 2 jobs, it's already paid for it, and you get like 15, 20 auditions a day, depending on how you filled out your profile. But yeah, you'll make way more than that over the course of a year, so it's worth it. But they do take 20%, and you can't work with any of those clients off the platform. You can't say like, hey, connect with me via email after. So that's the downside because they want all the money. But Voice123, which is another site that's equally as big as Voices.com, they just take your membership fee. They don't take a percentage at all, and you can keep working with those clients off the platform as much as you want. So that's the best place to really the way you want to do it is be on all of the big sites. So you want to be on Voices.com, Voice123, and then get as many agents as you can. And that's when you start getting a lot of quality auditions and work coming in.
Cool. Yeah, I was actually doing my independent research on your channel this morning. And I saw like how you did the voices and you did your room up and you paid for itself. I'm like, I wonder if I could even I don't know what kind of cereal would want my voice in it. Like, hello.
There's got to be some redneck show somewhere. I mean,
look.
Fruity the Looms.
For the Looms. I mean, doesn't that big talking elephant in Alabama have a voice? I mean, maybe you could do the Crimson Tide.
Big Al doesn't have a voice. Mascots don't have a voice.
He should have.
For Bucky's should have Bobby's voice.
Oh, really God. You should own stock in them. You're there every weekend. So.
He had his birthday party there, for God's sake.
Jesse, do you know what Bucky's is?
I had a Bucky's theme.
I know what is?
What Bucky's is?
I don't. What's Bucky's?
Oh, Bobby.
It's a giant gas station that mirrors what heaven is like.
Giant gas station with mirrors?
That mirrors what heaven is probably like.
Really?
They have barbecue sandwiches and all kinds of different stuff.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shop galore. You walk in there just to pee and you spend $65 before you get up to the door.
So look at my hat. It's Bucky's.
Yeah.
They have
a club.
Oh, it's amazing. Beavers everywhere.
They have what is it, 100 gas pumps, and it's like a Cracker Barrel meets a
gas pumps.
Yeah, it's huge, and no trucks are allowed.
No diesel.
So yeah, no diesel. So well, they may have diesel, but they don't allow the big the semi trucks.
They don't allow semi trucks.
No rigs.
But yeah, it's a thing in the South. It started out of, I think, Texas. Is that right, Bobby?
Mm-hmm. They have a wall of beef jerky. Just a wall of it.
A wall of beef jerky. Now we're talking.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they have the best food too.
Oh,
and it's not truck stop food. It's not like you when you envision truck stop food, you envision the greasy plate. No, this is actually really good stuff. So
it's fresh everything. Fresh brisket and barbecue and fried chicken.
One of my favorite things. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not getting paid to promote them, so we're gonna hush. But
the Texas cheesesteak burrito.
Man. All I can say is I live in Texas and I am not that far from a Bucky's. I can go anytime I want to.
Look, I suggest trying their banana pudding. It's really, really good.
Hey, I'm a half hour from Bucky's. I'm not that far.
Their fudge is good.
It's about the same Brenda is from it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your job. You can be the voice of the beaver. So
Right.
I'm not sure how that just sounded.
I don't know. I can't wait till he tells his wife, guess what, honey? I'm going to be the voice of the beaver.
Sportcat, Mrs. Dizzle, and the beaver.
Well, this is awkward.
How'd you guys get your nicknames? How'd you get Sportcat and then Bobby Dizzle?
Well, Sportcat is actually back when I was in dispatch. I used to be what they call up north a whacker, which means I carried a radio around with me everywhere and listened to what was going up. Brenda, I could take you off this screen, and so I would listen to
Turn his car around.
That's right. I'd listen to the all the fire and EMS stuff and police stuff while I was off instead of just dispatching it. So they were making fun of me at work, and they were like, well, bring one of your radios in, because I'm also an amateur radio operator. And so I brought in my radio, and I brought in the one that was made by Bearcat Unit, and it was called the Sportcat because it was the race edition for the South, and it was bright yellow. And so from there on out, everybody started calling me the Sportcat. So,
Cool.
so yeah, it stuck with me through, God, that's been 40 years. So.
Mine's not nearly that funny. My nickname back home was Bob, and my last name starts with a D. I was trying to do an Instagram account one time. It wouldn't take any of my names I put in there, and so I finally like, fuck it, Bobby Dizzle, and it took. I'm like,
Man, you should be like, I went to a Snoop Dogg concert and I went back to join with Snoop Dogg and he called me B Dizzle.
It's never gonna happen.
Since this is all a TikTok moment right here.
I'm gonna make it up though. Say, yo, thinking of a master plan, my man Bobby Dizzle.
There you
go. yo.
And
yo,
Todd just smokes a lot of weed, so
Understatement of the year.
The fans of my podcast are called Dizzlers.
The Dizzlers?
Yeah, I've got about a dozen of them. They're a cult.
Maybe I should have like the sport kitties, sport kittens.
Oh, Jesus.
Sounds perverted. I
Merch
don't like that at
going,
all.
get some shirts, the Dizzlers and the kitties.
The kitties.
Wow. We had just strolled this right in.
Charlie's Angels.
Would you say Bobby's Angels?
No, Charlie's Angels, the kitties. That's good. Creepy old man with a mustache. Come here, kitty.
Yeah, that's me. I'm working on my winter beard though, so it's a little stubbly right now.
Get the Subaru.
Oh, easy.
Get the Subaru, kitties.
Jesse, maybe I should bring you on weekly to keep us in line.
Jesse, this is why Todd smokes so much pot.
Watch the entertainment.
Sometimes we think his screen is frozen.
Are you blasted right now, Todd?
Of course he is.
Negative.
Of course he is.
I couldn't go to the office because it's too damn hot. So I'm
I got a
stuck in the
question,
bedroom and I
Jesse.
can't smoke it now.
You were talking about you have classes. Is
For
that
voiceover?
yes?
Yeah, so I have a
How
course.
does that work?
The course is it's called the Jumpstart course, and it's like everything that I did from like getting started in voiceover, from like knowing nothing to like all the stuff that you need to know to be like a working professional. It's a 6-week course that teaches you how to do voiceover like week by week. It's stripped out so it doesn't overwhelm you. So that's one option. And another way I do it is that people can work with me directly as well, like do one-on-one sessions. Because the cool thing about voiceover when you're starting, it's got a really big learning curve, but then it levels out really quick. The hard part is about getting started and learning how to use the software, set up your recording space, and you know where to find work, and just learning how to record and all that kind of stuff. That's a bit of a hassle to start, but then it levels out. So then your next challenge is learning how to get good. And for that, you need to like work directly with someone. You can figure it out on your own, but it's much quicker if you have somebody that knows what they're doing, being able to be like, yeah, that reads okay, or you know, it's a little bit flat, or you're projecting too much, like helping you work on your actual reads.
Which is probably why your student got it in 45 instead of 250, right?
Yeah.
All right, I got a question.
Really good. He was really good too. Like, from the start, I was like, this guy's going to be good. He wanted to do it.
Shelton has a question. Beware.
How do I sign up for your courses?
Oh, that's a great question, Shelton, and thank you for asking. You can go to
Don't encourage him.
You can go to jessecarrollcoaching.com.
Shut up, Lovey.
You can go to jessecarrollcoaching.com, and on that site, I have my Jumpstart course, which is available for purchase. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, there is an option to have an interview with me so that we can like talk and stuff, with like a free 15-minute interview to see if we're right to work together. Because the last thing I want to do is charge somebody a bunch of money to work with me, and I can't help them, or they don't need my help or something. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that when you're coaching someone directly, that you can actually help them. You know. So, 2 options to work with me on jessecarrollcoaching.com.
Cool. Well, now, since apparently I'm Shelton and JT's manager, I may have to talk to you about a scholarship program. So,
Shut up, Glenn.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure.
Just the difference
I'm
in
gonna
some of your
fire
work.
you, Glenn.
You're not going to fire Glenn.
Yes, I am.
I didn't know it was hired.
The difference in the ice road or back road truckers work and like the Nintendo ad
Yeah,
or the Nintendo corporate, it's amazing. It's like a different person.
yeah.
I was going
That-
back. And
that
forth
is
with
true,
those.
yeah.
It's not even the same guy.
You know what? Like, it's funny. Like when I first started doing voiceover, the first voice that I kind of like did was my natural one. I was just trying to just sound like me, only in different situations. Like for like the Nintendo one, I'm just like being excited, and I had a lot of experience in comedy, being a host and getting the audience pumped up. So that's what I naturally defer to. But then over time,
Just an
like
example.
over time and stretching my voice in different ways and getting some help from my younger brother, who's also a radio DJ. He helped a bit, and I'd been surrounded by rock and roll my whole life. And when I was auditioning for Back Road Truckers, they're like, do like the best rock and roll voice you can do. And I worked on that so fucking hard. And when I did it, it just felt right. But yeah, I don't know. I accessed like a whole different area to like get.
Yeah, it's like a different voice.
Give us an example.
Oh, I
Little
can't.
guy wrecked his truck.
Like,
You got to pay,
Watch-
Shelton.
That's
Watch
like
the tape.
E.T. He couldn't do it either.
Watch the tape. Watch the video, Sheldon. They're on there.
Yeah, I've been like, I've literally been recording voice all day. I couldn't do it right now if I tried. When I do Backroad Truckers, at first we tried to do 2 episodes back to back, but I couldn't do it. The first day I was like, I had to keep taking breaks because I have to like basically scream into the microphone for like just to do 1 episode, 2 hours straight. So 4 hours straight, 2 episodes. They were like right away. We're like, nope, 1 episode a day. That was all I could do. So one of the episodes of the first season, like you can hear my voice is like kind of really raspy, and I'm like just trying to push out the words the whole time. For the rest of them, I just like
I
get
know
it.
what you mean.
Yeah.
So with the writers being on strike now, is that affecting you?
No, because they're just on strike for film and TV. So for voiceover, I mean, in a way it does. Here's the thing. So my situation is that like I'm in New York City, but I'm from Canada. I'm here on an O1 visa, but to work in film and TV, they like you to have a green card. So I can't really audition until my green card goes through, which is in process right now. So film and TV is kind of off license for me anyway. But if it wasn't, if I had my green card, I'd be, I wouldn't be in the best place right now. I'd be like, God damn it, fucking strike. Because I'd want to work. But right now I'm just waiting for my green card anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. Because it's only for film and TV. All voiceover still going. Video games, animation, commercials, all that stuff.
Okay.
They are on strike. I know it's confusing. It's like a different part.
Mhm.
There's 2. There's I think there's like there's 2 different agreements. There's like the film and TV 3 film and TV agreement. Then they've got like the animation video game agreement. Then they've got commercial agreements for SAG, and the other 2 agreements don't come up for like another year or 2. So right now it's just film and TV that they're striking on. But they're also giving passes right now, so I don't totally get it. So there's like I just heard that Hallmark in Vancouver got like a pass. They're allowed to like work again, and the writers are working on the show and all that. So I don't know what's going on with the strike. I can't really comment on it too much. So
It's too hard to keep up with all of that junk, anyways.
yeah.
It seems to happen more often than it used to.
I know here in Atlanta where there's a lot of, in South Atlanta, there's a lot of studios and there's a lot of people right now unemployed looking for jobs. So
Yeah, I just saw a stat that even there's like the biggest agency out of, I know this isn't in Atlanta, but in LA, there's the biggest agency with William Morris Agency said they're losing like $25 million in revenue a month while the strike is going on. A month.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's like all the wages of all the employees. Like it's affecting not just it's the actors on strike, and I'm not going to say whether I'm for it or against or anything like that, especially not a live thing. But it's not just affecting the actors; it's also affecting all of the people that work on set, right? From the people that are holding signs to slow down traffic when there's filming going on, PAs, they're out of work, right down to like the grips, everybody, or the producers, and obviously the actors got something to work out with them, but so many people are affected by it. To cities, like even in Vancouver, where I'm from, it's multi-billion-dollar a year industry, and it's like shut down right now. So,
yeah, it's really a ghost town in South Atlanta where there's 4 studios, and I mean, I know, of course, obviously, a bunch of the paramedics that work on set, and I know a bunch of the construction people and the drivers and stuff, and they're all looking for work right now. They're doing whatever they can to survive.
Yeah, I feel bad for everybody, man. It could go for a while too, because they're not even talking right now, and it doesn't look like either side is like willing to like give an inch, really. But
I got an email yesterday that said the same thing, that they're at a standstill.
Yeah, I think here's the thing, like it's a lot of it's centered around AI, but I don't know enough of it to comment on it further than that. But I think that AI thing, like, I don't know, I stand with the union on that one. Like, I do not think that I think that honestly the federal government should get involved, because there should not be allowed legally in a contract to say that somebody can use your likeness and your voice and your images they put on the contract through eternity, throughout the universe until the end of time. It says language like that in the contract. So that
death of the universe.
Yeah. They say across the known universe in the contract.
Like, only if I live that long.
They try to sneak stuff like that in contracts on me for voiceover, saying that we're allowed to use your likeness throughout the known universe in perpetuity till the end of time. I'm like, what? So they could literally take a photograph of my face and try and turn it into AI and create an AI character using my voice. Like, no, never.
Wow.
That's something to watch out for then.
So yeah, like, I mean, I wouldn't, there's no way if I was negotiating that contract that I would give an inch on that either, So
yeah, I don't blame
how
them.
How much you're going to use AI in the future, because it seems unlimited. It seems like we got to get a hold of it.
There's going to have to be some protections put in place, because there's not a lot of jobs that won't be untouched by it. It can do a lot of things.
I don't trust it.
It's just going to get better. So there has to be protections in place. There's 2 things I think that have to happen in AI. Either they let the genie out of the bottle, and then they start supplying the base populations with a wage. But then you're looking at like almost communism, right? If everyone starts getting paid without working all the time. But what do you do if there's no jobs for anybody, right? Or they're going to have to put in huge protections saying that AI cannot do jobs that people are capable of doing, which I think is the better way to go.
Yep.
Just because they can do it doesn't mean you should be able to do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They've already been talking about a universal-based income, though.
Yeah. Andrew Yang, that was his whole shtick.
And that's better than nothing, right? If the AI robots or whatever taking your jobs, at least you're getting that.
Yeah, you can't have millions and millions and millions of people out of it. Something's got to happen.
I've heard that, communism looks really good on paper till you put people in there.
Exactly, right? People take advantage. That's the thing. No system's ever going to be equal, because people will try and find a way around that system to try and benefit themselves. It's just human nature. But
AI is kind of getting on my nerves with a lot of things anyway. Especially like I mean, it's just taking so many jobs, so many. Like I watched a video on TikTok the other day. It was a pizza place that there was a pizza making itself, dropping the toppings on, and putting it in the cooker thing and everything. I'm like, there goes somebody's job.
They got robots that'll bring it out to you too.
Yeah. It's like
making itself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, fellas. I'm like, bring it on. I'm lazy as shit.
I mean, okay, it's one thing to get something like that set up in your house, but to set it up in restaurants, I mean, you're taking somebody's job.
But if you're the owner, you can tell the robot not to do it, and you make one that day. But if you've been a pizza man for 30 damn years, you're tired of making pizza. You want to go sit with the customer or something.
If they're still hiring somebody to do it.
The robot will do it for free.
There's like a lot of really cool talks out there. If you ever want to go down that rabbit hole on like YouTube, just type in like AI discussions. And there's people that have worked at Google that have talked about seeing some crazy shit that's about to come. But one thing that everybody kinds of seems to agree on is that they all say that we're headed for an unavoidable dark period of time. And out of that, two things are going to happen. The world is going to get even darker, or we're headed for a total utopia, because we'll be able to use the AI to create things that we could not even fathom with our own minds, and using it as a tool, which will create like a virtual utopia where people essentially don't have to work. And who knows? Well, what do you use to trade for goods and services at that time when nobody does anything? It's all AI, right?
That's the worrisome part.
Yeah.
What's the currency?
Right.
Exactly.
I wouldn't mind sitting around and getting fed to make art, but I'd like to eat too.
Well, see,
And
that's
our
the
life
one side of
expectancy
AI.
will go down.
You can literally put that into an AI, be like, nobody in the world works because AI does everything. How do we live? How do we exchange for goods and services? And that thing will spit it out, the answer, right? In like 10 minutes.
Well, I don't think we'd have to. If everybody has everything, what are you worried for?
Figure it out for you.
And like, well, I will always have a job as firefighter paramedic. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere. I don't think so.
Right.
I think
until the robots come.
Yeah.
Robots will do that job.
Fucking march right in there in the fire. What fire? We don't care.
They can do surgery on the spot.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
drop my firewood.
My God, the robots are going to take over.
I for one welcome my
control.
robot overlords.
That's like saying my dog's going to take over. My dog ain't going to take over nothing.
Mine already do.
Can't do shit. You know, the robot ain't going to do nothing if I don't plug his ass in.
Steve Jobs.
I got nothing for that. I'm sorry.
I'm all for it. You'll never sway me. Bring it on.
Never mess with a fat man and his pizza. I get it.
I want my own little Terminator, you know. He just said to you, like, you drive, I ain't got to worry. We ain't got to worry about headlights.
I'm gonna ask my robot right now. I got Chat GPT open.
Yeah,
that's the question. When AI
take
mind control everything.
Oh God.
What will humans
how crazy is it? Like
use for currency? Since
20 years ago, I remember when computers weren't even around. Well, I guess longer than 20 years ago, but like when I was like a kid, I was working on one of the first computers that were like a PC that you'd see in a school. It was like a little, I think it was the first Macintosh that was ever made. And the screen was like black with like green writing that would go
yes.
over. And like to think how far we've gone to like we're sitting in a virtual chat room right now talking about AI, the real possibility of AI taking over the world. What a ride. That you could call paranormal, right?
Absolutely. I was selling those computers in high school, the Tandy 1000s at Radio Shack. So we're going to ask you a couple of the obligatory questions. First off, have you ever seen or had any experiences with a Bigfoot?
You know, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, I haven't seen a Bigfoot, but I think I may have had an experience. So like, I'm from British Columbia, and there's a thing there called the Sasquatch, which is the same thing as Bigfoot. So I'm from Vancouver Island, and it's just dense forest all the way around. It's logging roads wherever you go. And there's a place called Tofino there where everybody goes and surfs. And me and my friends, we go surf there, and it's like a tourist town where it costs so much money to go camping and get a hotel and all that. So we just go into the woods with our surfboards and a bunch of our gear and just make camp and find out this nice little beach and just put our stuff there and go surfing as much as we want. And one night we're all like, it's, I don't know, maybe like 1 o'clock in the morning. We've had a bunch of beers. We're all drunk. We're in our tents, passed out. And we hear somebody like kind of coming into the campground. We're like, what the fuck? And it's like really loud. We're like through the dense forest and woods. And like our fire's like still like, you know, it's not dangerous or anything. There's a big fire pit around it. It's still like a little bit of like embers and stuff going a little bit. And this, I thought it was a person. We don't know, but like we're deep in the woods, deep, no flashlights or anything. This thing starts stomping out the fire, stomping it out, making so much noise. I'm like, my buddy's like, gonna tell me something. I'm like, you fucking hear that? He's like, yeah. I was like, don't do anything. It's probably some fucking crazy dude. So we sit in the tent, and we were so shit scared. We would not go out of the tent until the morning. We opened our tent. We looked out. We looked at the other tents, and everyone's like, you hear that? They're like, yup. We look at the tent or the the campfire, and it's just stomped to hell. All the beers are like tossed everywhere. It looked like somebody went and like threw a party on top of our party and just destroyed the place. Yeah.
No
That
footprints
sounds
or
like
anything.
So I don't know. We didn't see any Sasquatch, but we had no indication that was a person whatsoever because it was weird as fuck. Nobody tried to talk to us through our tents or said we couldn't be out there, and they didn't use a flashlight. And this place was pitch black. We're in the dense forest to get to this beach.
And that's when my robot comes out the tent, does a perimeter check.
Yeah, exactly.
The drone launches out of the top of the tent and does a 360, sets the perimeter. Yeah.
So
Laser
Well,
grid.
I'm making a s'more, not worried about a damn thing.
You ain't making a s'more. You're rolling another one.
Did you
Already
go
got that
looking
going.
for
Robot does that
footprints?
too, man.
My AI was very descriptive. I don't want to read what he wrote.
It scared you.
I was like, "What? That was a little quick with those answers, buddy." I mean, I got a 10 bullet essay in like 2 seconds. I'm like, "Whoa, that was a little quick." You had that in
What
in
is
the
that?
chamber. Well, I'll hit the bullet points. It got a post-scarcity economy where everybody has enough stuff.
Yep.
Traditional currency will diminish. Number 2 is resource allocation. AI can manage resource allocation. AI can manage the resources. Ensuring everything
Don't
needs are
worry,
met.
we'll take care of all the money.
Here's where it
It's
starts
like-
getting murky.
Yours gave you a better answer than mine.
Reputation or social capital. Ooh. Black Mirror, baby.
Yes.
Personal data economy.
Yeah, right. You get 5
Experience-based
stars.
economy. In a world where material goods are abundant, experiences could become the new form of luxury. People might accumulate experiences such as travel, learning, and unique interaction,
Damn right.
and share these experiences.
Yeah.
Utopia.
Number
If everybody's
6,
got anything, why do you got to
Yeah.
pay for something? I don't need
This
to
is
buy
creepy.
anything from you.
Number 6 is artificially created scarcity, and we just make it like we need an economic system. Number 7 is humans no longer engage in work. Society could explore new definitions of values. I don't know.
That
Well,
makes
see, the American population, though, what would happen is the lifespan would decrease and cardiovascular disease would go up. And so,
Opposite. You can just go in and have whatever. Like, make them fix your finger. Or,
The robots can
you don't
clean
have
our
to worry about that stuff
vasculars.
no more.
I'm not a fan of going to sleep with having a robot staring over me telling me, trust me, I'm from the government. So.
right.
My AI chat just said that basically there was a structure set up to prevent that from ever happening.
No,
Your AI lies.
Your AI is trying to keep you fed.
Yeah.
You human hamster.
Your,
Get back on that wheel.
One of you asked Google, the other one asked Siri. I know what happened right there.
I asked ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
Open
JT,
AI.
your AI is going to take over members only. That's what's
There's
happening.
nothing to
there.
worry about. Go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Filthy human.
So Jesse, have you ever had any experience with ghosts or anything?
Yeah. So like when I was like in high school, we were doing, I'm sure you obviously you have either used or have experienced somewhat with a Ouija board.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with my stepbrother, my stepsister, and my brothers and a couple friends, and we're messing around with this Ouija board in the basement of this place that we were living at. And this place was weird. There was always kind of like weird shit going on. Like someone just walked into our house when we were all sleeping one night and like walked in my room. I thought it was my brother coming home drunk from a party. And it was like somebody like just walked into our house and walked around. Weird shit was happening all the time. So we're using a Ouija board and it started spelling stuff out. I forgot what it was, but we all thought it was somebody trying to make it say stuff. And then it said, somebody asked like, oh, what do you want? And it went like, Y-O-U, like you. And then in the closet, we hear like this bang noise. And we're like, what the fuck? This is real. This really happened. I swear to God. We go look in the closet. This is in our basement. And there's a dart stuck into the floor. The floor is concrete. It was like jammed into the concrete.
Wow.
That was
See ya.
Yeah. Now the house, I'm moving.
Yep.
You know, I've heard, and I'm sure everybody else here.
happening.
What's that?
I said we only stayed in that house for a year. My parents moved. Like they only stayed in the house for a year. They're like, we get bad vibes in this house. because like weird shit kept happening. It was plants were dying outside all the time. It was weird.
You know, and I'm sure everybody here on the cast can tell you that anybody that plays with those, if you don't know what you're doing, you can get some really dark and bad things happen. So yeah,
When you
Never do it in your house.
When you play with them, you open something. You open your portholes, but you have to know how to close them before you shut it down. If you don't close it, it sticks around.
Oh, weird. You know, okay, have you heard of sleep paralysis?
yes.
Okay, so like this started happening actually probably not too long after the Ouija board. It's interesting. So I wonder if this is like related to something. So like what happens sometimes happens to me. It happens to my brother Sean. Like I'll be like trying to go to sleep. They made a documentary out of this. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going crazy. I'm not the only one. Like we'll go to sleep and like I won't be like totally asleep. I'll be kind of awake, but I can't move. And then I'll like see like a dark figure come over top of me and like comes like close to me and like looks at me and I'm like trying to move and I'm like, oh, and I wake up usually yelling, like throwing myself, trying to like wake myself up. It's so crazy. Hasn't happened in a while. Not since I moved to New York, but man, it happened like it was terrifying every time it happened. And it was pretty regular recurring for the past like, I don't know, 20 years.
Really? That's not good.
The first time that ever happened to me, I was out camping in the woods and we'd been looking for Bigfoot, and it kept me out of the woods for a year. I was totally asleep in a tent cot, and a tent cot is exactly what it sounds like. It's a cot with a tent over it, so it's just a little teeny tiny capsule you're in.
Okay.
And I'd left a small fire out so you could still see just enough. But we were well enough away from everybody. I mean, everything, we were safe. There was nobody around us. We went four-wheeling quite a ways off the grid. And all of a sudden, I heard something scratch the side of my tent. But I couldn't wake up, but I didn't register that. Well, then I could hear footsteps or something. I knew something was getting close. The inside of my tent cot lit up like it was daylight inside my tent cot. I could see everything. I could see my feet. I could see, I could see everything. Well, not my feet, I guess, but I could see down. And I apparently started screaming like that, and which come out as like, and so I woke everybody up in the camp. I mean, like all of them, most of them military or law enforcement, and I had more guns pointed at me when I woke up. But yeah, and it seemed to last forever. And I could keep hearing this thing. It was scratching on the side of the tent. It was trying to get in. And right as I heard them screaming my name and I could come out of it, and the person I was yelling for was Lee. He was in the tent closest to me. This frog, it's in the vision or dream or whatever you want to call it, popped through the side of my tent and had like a little, almost like a king's helmet crown on. And then he just went straight up into the light, and the light just disappeared like a fading star in the middle of my tent cot.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my God.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
you told me that before. I didn't get the frog part.
Yeah, the frog popped through the side of the tent. So
He had a crown.
Yeah, he had on like his little golden crown. It just kind of went poof to the light.
He didn't have a laser beam on his head.
I don't know. It was an AI frog, so I wasn't worried, but still.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I wish I did drugs, but yeah. So that's sleep paralysis. I didn't go back out in the woods for a year. I did not go camping for over a year. No, I haven't. No, that was the only time. So
But it's not sleep paralysis. It's literally a spirit holding you the fuck down.
Yeah.
well, I've heard
like,
that.
Sleep paralysis. It's like, no, it ain't. It's something on the other side of the veil fucking with you when you sleep.
Sleep frog.
Has anybody seen the documentary they made for sleep paralysis that was on Netflix?
No.
If you want to see something terrifying, watch it.
I've lived it, man. I don't need. No, I'm good.
Well, here lately, because of sleep deprivation, I'll have these periods where I feel like I'm going into another dimension, and I was talking to a doctor about it, and they were saying that's the waves in your brain are on a different level or something. I didn't really understand that part, but they were saying that you're basically opening up your imagination is what they're saying to almost anything. And here lately, I've had the dream or the vision, whatever you want to call it, where I feel like I've just went to sleep for just a minute, and then all of a sudden, just like you said, there's all these dark figures over me. So yeah, I've had, that's kind of new because I've had the sleep deprivation. I can't sleep. This seems like sleep is not going to happen for me. So
Apparently, I need to go and cleanse you or something. So
you are not giving me an enema.
I am not. I am going nowhere near then.
That's why they call it holy water.
Lay down and take your medicine.
There you go. There we go.
Get that holy water away from me.
I got it. I got it.
So Jesse, I know I only booked you for an hour. I only asked you to come on for an hour, but you're more than welcome to stay with us as long as you want. We usually are here for 2 hours BSing, so
like he's the entertainment.
Yeah.
The talent.
So yeah, you're the talent. We're just kind of the misfits of the group, but
Craft services over here.
So if you got to bail, just let us know. But I'm sure we got a couple more questions for you, but I'll leave it up to you.
I actually do have to bail. I appreciate it though.
Okay. Well, tell us, anybody got any last minute questions? If not, I want you to tell us where we can find you. And
Nope.
Okay.
Would you
Very
like,
satisfactory.
Would you like Bobby's wife to find a girl to just go ahead and marry you and make you a citizen check away from the Although for the right price, Bobby would probably let you borrow his wife.
I appreciate it. I'm already at the end of the green card process. I'm just waiting for them to.
If you read between the lines, that was Brenda asking you if you needed a wife.
Nope.
She's single. So. You can outrun her. She's only got one leg, so.
I don't know though. I have that walker that has wheels now. I'm sure if I get a good start downhill, I can pop on one knee on the seat and just woo. Yeah.
She's already been thinking about it.
She might be you can only run in a circle anyway, so.
That's right.
Well, Jesse, we always invite the guests to come back if you feel like you had fun and if you want to. You're going to be going, what did I do in my career to get on a podcast with these people? So
this is great. This is fun. This is like probably the funnest podcast I've been on.
Well, thank you.
On Saturday nights, we set Shelton loose. So,
we're pretty mild tonight.
Yeah, this is mild. Saturday night show is called The Misfits, and it's basically this, and then we just open the mic to anybody that wants to come on and be heckled by Shelton or that wants to heckle Shelton.
Oh, really?
And it's sometimes we've made JT blush, so sometimes it gets pretty good. So I was the one that set up the OnlyFans campaign, so only puppets.
Only puppets. I just picture Shelton's little plastic body laying on a bearskin rug with.
I'm telling you,
draped over. I don't even know.
it'd make money.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
You probably would make money. There's some weird people out there into some crazy shit.
There are.
They 5 feet for crying out loud.
Your feet.
Yeah, they people buy pictures of feet.
Hey, I told you guys when I worked at the club, I had some guys come in there when they found out I only had one leg. They was trying to pay me money just to touch my nub. I'm like, you sickos, get the hell out of here. Go inside and look at the naked.
You didn't make money? Come on.
Long time ago, I used to manage a strip club, and there was guys that would come in there all the time, and they would like pay girls just to like touch their feet or have the girls like walk on top of them and like put their feet in their face. There was one guy who used to pay the girls money to like put on their stiletto heels and like step on his nuts, like step on him over and over and over. It was sick.
Wait, was his name Eduardo?
Was his what? It was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right.
I used to work in a street joint. Yeah, there are some people that got some fetishes and some
God,
weird
nuts.
I've lived a sheltered life, apparently.
That's what's wrong with you.
That's exactly what's wrong.
Lord.
Well, we've embarrassed the Dizzle. Well, but Jesse, we're gonna we're going to let you get out of here. I'm glad you came on. We'll talk about getting you on again in the future. Maybe we'll maybe we'll keep growing and you can be our agent for us. So
yeah, there we go.
Yeah. And I will message you about being the scholarship for JT and Shelton there. So
yeah, absolutely. You talk about
Nice meeting you, man.
Nice to
Thanks
meet you.
again.
Nice meeting
Hey,
you.
man. Great time.
Nice meeting you. Bye.
guys, thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun.
See you, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Bye-bye. I love having guests on that have fun with us. So that was a good show, guys.
Yeah. I hear jingles, but I've lost something.
Do not run over the dog on the live feed. I do not want to get at-peated.
He's well, he might have a perm here soon because he's like where I can't reach him, and he's playing with the wires to the computer.
Oh my God.
Booty.
All we hear is Brenda going beep, beep, beep.
Hang on, let me try to
How much to touch the nub?
That's a quote.
That's it. Let me see. I might have to go to the front door for him to come to me because he's like back there in the corner. I can't get him.
So I'm on the phone one night with Brenda, and she's like, "I'm gonna go have a smoke," and I hear the door open, and I hear a little go-kart go zzz. Next thing I hear is I. It sounds like she run Yoda over or some shit, and she run over the neighbor's chihuahua. I wish to God I had that on recording. It was hysterical. And I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm thinking, is this dog still alive?
Yes, she just jumps.
Where are you going?
So
She lost something. She's got it. It's just a live show, and Brenda's not wearing pants. All right.
She think it was over?
long thing on. Shut up.
She never wears pants.
That's right. I never wear
Yeah,
pants.
told me.
No.
Oh, we should have told Jesse that. So.
You're just jealous because you have to wear pants. I swear to God, if you got in that corner and you peed somewhere
Oh, God.
and I can't get it, you're gonna get in trouble.
That's a pretty cool guess, Glenn. How do you fucking score these people, man?
Right.
It's blind luck.
Told him earlier today. I was like, man, you get all the people on the show.
That's pretty
He lets,
slick.
he lets them see Brenda's nub.
Pictures.
Bribery.
I promise them they'll get to see Brenda's nub and be harassed by ventriloquists.
Meet some girl that only has one leg and never wears pants, and a puppet that talks shit.
Absolutely. No, I've been blessed. Basically, and me and Bobby were going to talk about this, and I keep meaning to get up with him, but I have just put it down to just ask. What's the worst I could do? Say no, because a lot of people. And last night I asked a movie star, and I was surprised. She actually messaged me back and said no, she couldn't. And I said, well, I'd like to get someone that was on the movie or something. It was a movie around Bigfoot, and she said, well, let me see if the director will let me. And that was more than I expected. And I said, okay, cool. Do you mind if I just keep this, message open with you? And she's like, yeah, I'll keep it open. So I was like, didn't ask her to be my friend or anything on Facebook, but it's just asking, because a lot of people are just really nice. I mean, I've had a bunch of people be jerks like, wow, I'd go on a podcast with, 70 viewers or whatever it is. And I was like, well,
$500 if I do.
Yeah, and I had somebody ask me for money one time, $100 an hour, and I'm like, yeah, well, because we're kind of cool. So, we've had directors on here, we've had the fighter on here, we've obviously Jesse been on here. So, we're all about having fun, and that's just exactly what I want to make this show. I want it to be an entertainment thing, but we want to ask people that get interviewed for all these things. He's used to getting tons of questions about how did you become a voice actor, or, how much money do you make? All these, but nobody's ever asked him if he saw Bigfoot. That's the first story he's probably ever told in public. And
that's why the Mayberry guy
that's my niche.
so much. That's why the Mayberry guy liked it, because we were like, hey, your books are fun. Who's your publisher? We're just like, dude. Started asking him random shit.
Yeah, I mean that's my niche, and I don't want to be, I don't want to be a one-hit Bigfoot wonder. I mean, I love the Squatch and all, but there's other stuff out there.
What you call it nowadays?
The Squatch.
Squatch. So, but yeah, I mean,
Loves the Squatch.
do I?
I've been told no one time. I've been ignored a bunch, but most of them are yeses.
Well, as soon as they listen to mine, they're like, "Oh, it's all marijuana." They're like, "Nope."
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
I think Todd's the only one here we have with the voiceover future. He's got
Hey,
the
baby.
voice.
I don't even have my good microphone. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in. It's 9:21 in the p.m.
I sound like the dusty guy at the trailer park that goes and collects rent every month.
There's a place for you too, man.
I don't even know what I sound like. So, my dad had the
Try
radio
new Beaver
voice.
Nuggets in Athens.
Yeah, my dad was a DJ for 20 years, man.
Yeah, mine too. So, yeah, and
the Beaver Nugget.
that somebody asked me if I could do local high school sports, and I thought about it. I thought about saying yes, and I was like, no, that's going to be a little quick, and I'm going to get the kid's name screwed up. I'm going to be like that boy down there or something, and then I'm never going to live it down. So
I never wanted to do the fake
shorts hanging down off his ass. Pull those things up while you're at it.
number 12. Shit, 21.
They expect you to church it up, you know, and that's what would get me. I would
TJ
laugh
Gerald
at
on the carry, 3 yards. Stop by.
Yeah. Instead of just talking normal, you'd have to do that. It's kind of like a personality. And
do you remember what is the TV show? Oh gosh, it may not have be on now, but it was the guy. He was the baseball announcer. Oh gosh. In the very first episode, he's locked himself. He's in some minor league shithole baseball team, and he's locked himself in the little DJ booth by himself. And he's on live AM FM radio for the local town. And he starts talking about how his wife's cheating on him, and he starts drinking. It is hilarious because I'm thinking, how many times has that probably happened?
Plus, it's AM. Nobody's listening.
What show is that?
Oh God, it's the guy's name. That's just the guy's name. But the very first episode is hysterical. What's that?
Lance. I'm just guessing.
No,
Right.
Bumgardner. I don't know. It was
Was he for the Milwaukee Brewers? Was he an actual?
Well, they were saying that it might have been Bob Euchre's minor league starting of his career. So.
Exactly.
I'm Googling it. TV show about baseball announcer.
But he had that good voice too, though. He had that. I love his voice.
Brockmeyer.
Well, I liked O'Carey too. What's his name? Harry Carey. I liked him
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to get drunk and throw beer into the audience.
It wasn't his voice that did it.
No.
If the moon were made of spare ribs, would you eat?
I know I would.
Yep.
If you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? I know I would. Cover myself in mustard and go to town. Hey.
Nice, cool Budweiser.
Sonia.
Just call me a cat. They call me Whiskers.
Whiskers, yeah.
Glenn, Sonia.
Yeah.
Hey.
Say what?
Hey.
I said Sonia jumped on. Apparently, y'all talked about Bigfoot because she said, "Oh, you didn't."
Okay. I see her down there now.
I know Sonia. Sonia's going to be the star of the show next week.
Oh,
right.
I think.
You putting her on your show next week?
Well, I've got her recorded. I've got about a dozen, 8 to 12 episodes in the tank with people who are like doing TV shows, and I'm like, why did I just record these and not air them live? So I've got them. So now I'm hoarding them like Gollum. I'm going precious, just ready to release them at any time.
I was like, I can take vacation
I think a lot of them are really good people from the Tennessee Paracon circuit. I think I'm going to put them all on October. I think October is going to be all it goes for me. And I've got the guy that does PR for Waverly Hills. I got his episode saved up. I may air that Halloween night.
Yeah, I seen an episode on that. I was watching this video. I watch these videos off of YouTube, and this one did like the 10 most horrifying places, and they did a skit on Waverly Hills about a woman, a nurse that walks around there And they say that when she worked there, one of the doctors got her pregnant and then didn't want to have anything to do with her. And apparently she killed herself there at the hospital, and she haunts the halls.
Boy, do you want to listen to my episode on it, because we have EVP evidence that is not true, Brenda Lankarge.
Well, that's what the video was saying that I watched.
Quit watching Fox News. Get off that media. No,
no.
What he says, I'm just fucking with you. What he said, that is the legend they go with. But he's done like 5 to 10 years of EVP research and questioning. And he came to find out that she was hung by the people after she was choked in the bed after being impregnated by the guard. And because Waverly Hills was in a bubble, like the NBA during the 2020.
Right.
They had their own police force, their own post office, their own doctors. Nobody left Waverly Hills. And so it was covered up. And so the local authorities didn't come in. It was like, yeah, it was a suicide. She went crazy. But that's not what happened.
Yeah.
On Halloween night, you'll be able to listen to it on the Bobby Dizzle podcast.
I'm going to have to.
It's a good enough skit that I'm going to cut it and make it its own because he tells the whole story.
That's great.
Yeah,
dude, it's insane. I'm like, why is this not live? This is the best episode I've ever done. His name's Ernie Pack. You can look him up. He runs Fort Duffield. He lives in a haunted fort in Kentucky, and it's called Fort Duffield, and it's his house. And he used to be the PR for Waverly Hills before some crazy guy came in there and turned it into like an actual like scary guy with mask on haunted house.
Dude.
Like, it's a good episode. It's like insanely good.
I don't know. That place is humongous. I've never really, up until I seen that episode of what I was watching on YouTube, I've never seen that place. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. And man, that place is humongous.
I may make it. I don't know. I think I may save it because it is intense. Halloween's on like a Tuesday, and I know nobody's going to be home to watch it.
Yeah.
So I may play it on the Sunday before that. But God, it's good. And I don't even want to look, because I'm like, wait, I forgot about that. I've got at least 10 to 12 episodes that are just bangers, including Sonia My Nuts, or whatever her name is. I don't know. That's what she said. She said somebody called her My Nuts.
My Nuts.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the things they say about those nursing homes and places like that are true. I ran a lady that choked to death on a hard-boiled egg. The whole egg was in her throat. And when I got there, I'm like, how the hell does she do this? She's a quadriplegic.
Oh, shit.
And nobody questioned it. I was even telling the cops. I'm like, dude, come on. So no, it's that stuff really does happen, right? So I'm telling you the truth. So
well, was it Waverly Hills was an insane asylum, wasn't it?
After the fact, it was a sanatorium first.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm. And it became an insane asylum after the fact, because all the tuberculosis patients are really subtle haunts, like residuals, but the crazy ones that get you in the body shoot, they are they're the ones that are like scratch you and do all that crazy stuff.
Wow. Yeah, well, check that out. I'm not sure if Todd's frozen or stoned, so
we've seen him smile.
Neither one. I'm waiting. Well, we got 30 more minutes left, then I get to smoke one.
There you go. Well, you know, I mean, we don't have to stay the full 2 hours. Yeah, we don't have to stay the full 2 hours, but it seems like we've had a good show, so I don't want to kill it by staying too long or not long enough. But
well, now it's just us left, though.
Why are you not in the man cave there, Todd?
It's hot as shit outside.
Oh, you need an air conditioner.
I have one. I need insulation.
Oh, well.
It was a high of 79 here in Atlanta today, so.
Shut up. It was 107 here.
It's not fun. My last token model I did for my car.
Oh, there you go. Just use the AC, huh?
Well, yeah, and I smoke in the car. But I get cold in the car. I got to turn that shit down.
That's your old age, your rigor mortis kicking in.
Once Glenn makes us all famous, I'll be able to afford insulation for my she shed.
Well, you can always do like Jess did and just, put mattresses and stuff
Well, that's what's
line the,
happening.
line the wall.
I use moving blankets. I have moving blankets hanging up.
There you go.
It's an idea. Yeah, that's a true story. My very first podcast, like in 2015, talking about Spider-Man and stuff. Yeah, it was on a micro recorder. I would record it on the little Sony digital recorder, bring it in when it filled it up and dump it to the big computer, edit it, and then go back and do some more in the closet. Sounded great, actually. I mean, nobody knew. And then I did a cigar and liquor podcast for a while, and comic books too. And I had quite a few like that, and it started out that way too.
That's what we need. We need one night of cigar and liquor. Yeah.
And I even managed to interview people on it, and that was kind of tricky. Let me tell you, I would call around and find out. That's back when the moonshine kick first started. I would call around and talk to different moonshiners, and I got one here in Knoxville in Atlanta. Well, no, he's not in Atlanta. It's North Georgia. And I got him to come on the show, got him to give me some free hooch. I think I got a free t-shirt out of it. So, I mean, I've never met a stranger. So I'm going to ask away. So I've held people's hands from the poorest person to Clint Eastwood. I mean, to people that everybody knows. So it's picked up celebrities. I've picked up athletes, and they're all the same to me. I don't care. So
you're holding Clint Eastwood's hand.
Yeah, we shook hands. I gave him a challenge coin, or I didn't, but the department did. Yes, that was in one of his movies. So
and they all got booger fingers.
He has the softest hands.
I guess.
Clint Eastwood has the soft, because I'm picturing a cowboy. I mean, I know the man's in his 80s, but he has the softest hand. And I had to hold it for a second. I'm like, not only am I holding Clint Eastwood's hand, maybe a little awkward there, but they're so soft.
What line do you say you held his hand? I missed that part. Like, where did that come from?
Well, I mean, I was talking about from the poorest person in the world to he's probably the most wealthiest person I've ever shaken hands with. So
you've held the poorest person in the world's hand?
Well, I'm probably on some of these calls and stuff I've ran. I mean,
I'm just India or something.
Venezuela.
Yeah, Ethiopia.
Yeah,
I've not been to any of those countries, but I've South America.
Mother Teresa. Got a real humanitarian over here.
So, well,
Clint Eastwood's soft hands.
But he did. He had the softest hands. So that's out of everything with that whole 2 nights with him working on the movie set. That's one thing I'll never forget. I even called my mom. I'm like, Mom, because that was like her. She watched a lot of Westerns, and that was her. It was Dirty Harry for me, but it was Westerns for her. I'm like, he's got the softest hands. So,
do you use lotion?
Yeah, he must.
He's with the streamer right now, going, I'm gonna kill him.
This is oil of Olay.
Oh shit, he's got Avon. What are you talking about?
That is 120 years old.
Yes, he is richer than God. So, but a hell of a nice man, and he is very respectful of public safety and law enforcement. So, yeah, a hell of a nice man. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know a stranger. It's funny you should say that. I've already emailed his rep. So
nice.
Hey, Soft Heads, come on the show.
So I don't know that I've excelled to that level yet, but we'll see. So
he's got a Sasquatch story.
Yeah, I've been talking about his hands. He's got an image to protect his Dirty Harry.
The guy from Gran Torino.
Yeah, exactly. I have not seen what was it? He did The Mule, or he just directed that one. So I don't think he was in that one.
He was in The Mule. He was.
Was he in The Mule?
He was the mule.
He was the old man in the car.
That's right. I haven't seen the movie, so that's been one of the ones that is on my bucket list to watch. So
he put the drugs in his butt.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of movies I want to watch, and I've got a ton of books that I've yet to read. So yeah.
The plot of Lucy with Scarlett Johansson is she has drugs in her butt.
It's in her stomach.
Yeah. which had to get there through her butt.
I just had an idea.
They cut her open, man. They did surgery on her and put the drugs in her.
Well, that's not nearly as fun as putting in her butt.
What if we got Brenda a false leg and we put drugs in it and send her to be the mule?
Oh, yeah.
We could make some money on this. Don't look at my leg, you perv.
I know a guy.
Something you like down there, Shorty?
I already have one.
She would set that agent straight in no time. I will beat your ass if you touch my nub.
I will pull this thing off and beat you with it.
I think you still got to send it through the detector.
You gotta pull the leg off and send it through?
It's on me. I don't have a way to get through.
Dude, if they're going to check your butt, they're going to check your false leg.
Yep. I'll be like, that's against my right.
Bobby, I need a fact checker. How do they check prosthetics?
I don't know.
We'll get somebody from TPWA on here.
I'll end up in the side of the porn I never thought I'd
end
end
up
up on.
detector over it, and they see what it is. And they keep
Oh, that used to annoy the crap out of me. We would show up on an ambulance, and we're taking our patient to the plane, an air ambulance, and TSA would always say, "We need to roll the stretcher through the metal detector." And I'd always just look at him like, Did you fall and hit every branch of the stupid tree when you fell out? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's made of metal, dumbass. Well, I'll get the wand.
I said my electric company. It's TSA. I said TPW. That's my damn electric company.
Nah, I thought that was the special drug unit. That's why I didn't say anything.
TSA. Isn't there a TPA too? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't fly.
Bobby's eyes are down. He's steadily Googling how to get a prosthetic leg through TSA.
Nope, you're self-retarded.
See, you were worried we wouldn't have anything to talk about for 30 minutes.
I kind of wonder about that myself. I think I'm going to try that. I think I'm going to go up to the clean airport. I'm going to put my prosthetic on, and I think I'm going to walk up there and say, "Hey, man, I need you to come and see somebody over here.
Here we go.
Take your leg off." I ain't taking my leg off. What the hell's wrong with you?
We got answers here.
What is it?
It says the agent will need to see and touch your prosthesis, but not ask you to take it off.
Oh, see and touch it.
May require you to lift part of your clothing without exposing sensitive areas.
Yeah, I would show it to him, so it would be okay. He'd be able to see it.
Wear a onesie.
Because they'll swab it for explosives.
Just reeking of weed. Like, no.
Yeah.
There's no pound of weed in my leg.
Damn, has anybody asked you to place anything in your leg? No.
What are you saying? Smells like a skunk.
Sounds like something from Ireland. Weed leg.
Why does it smell like a skunk?
Well, see, now mine, the top of it is made. Oh, what is the stuff that they paint cars with? Mine cost a lot of money.
Fiberglass?
Like that.
Bondo.
Metallic. Huh?
Duct tape.
You got Bondo on it.
Mine's jet black, and if you hold it certain ways, it looks like it's got designs in it.
Why is it gotta be black?
Because I'm an amputee from the knee up. I have a bulb, and then it has a knee component and
that's a different prosthetic entirely.
So it's
That's a whole different prosthetic there.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's pretty badass. It's
Yeah, look those up, Bobby.
I too have a ball above my knees.
Balls are showing.
Not a ball, it's a bulb, like a thing that my nub sits down in.
My nub sits on it.
There's plenty of
Just
room in there.
making it worse.
I know.
Wait.
Definitely sits on it.
Older you get, the closer to your knee.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, he said that and he's gone.
What happened?
What happened to Todd?
I don't know. He said something about the older it is, the closer to the knee you're getting. He was out. So.
Somebody, what did Kevin say? That's a weed leg.
Weed leg.
A weed leg. Oh, Lord.
Weed legs wobble, but they don't fall down.
I don't know. I've fallen on that thing several times. It doesn't feel good.
We have him back. What happened to you?
His weed leg fell off.
Weed leg got
shit,
you.
Man. Always talking shit.
Maybe that would be a good name for a serial killer. Weed leg. He won't sneak upon you quickly.
You'll smell him coming. Beat you.
Oh God.
Officer, all I know is he smelled like the skunk.
And I'm not sure. I think he had one leg.
And he didn't move very fast.
Poor Jesse. He's not going to watch after he leaves. He's just like, the rest of that's worthless.
He's like, yeah, why did I got it while I could.
He was like, what the fuck?
I don't know what happened there. We're on Echo.
Echo.
That poor guy.
He was fun.
I got a couple guys coming up pretty soon that I'm kind of worried about talking to. Might have to get my game face on, start practicing like the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. The rain in Spain falls mainly.
Why?
Just because I don't look like an idiot when I get on. Oh, hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to the podcast. Beep bye boop bap beep bop beep bop beep.
You don't sound like an idiot when you do your podcast, Bobby.
Oh, I really do. Don't tell me.
No, you don't. You don't.
Hey everybody.
I listened to it.
That was 1 person out of 4, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 25%. It's failing grade.
That's one opinion. So yeah.
Hey,
One way to look at it.
my opinion, I may bring more with others' opinions. Okay, come on now. You don't sound like an idiot.
Welcome back.
You sound a little better than some that I've listened to.
Well, the bar you're setting for me is I'm definitely better than some.
Oh, dude, there's some guys that do the Big Brother show in their car. Oh God, and they got, no offense, Todd, they've got like thousands of followers. I'm like, how the hell this guy does a 15-minute podcast every other day in his car, and no, it's not. It's just his voice. It's no video. It's nothing. It's just his voice, and he doesn't even use a good mic. He just throws the phone up on the dash with the AC. It's like, God.
He's been doing it longer.
Hate.
Put some water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish.
She wears underwear with dick holes in it.
Oh,
that woman was underwear with dick holes. Rosie O'Donnell.
She pumped my gas on the way over here.
Next week's guest probably won't be up for all these shenanigans.
As I sip on my drink, that I'm sure somebody is spitting.
Somebody's spitting.
But I'm
some water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish.
But
I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you. And I hate you.
Hate.
But I'm certainly inviting you all to next week's show. We will be joined. Brenda, tell them all about our guest next week. Hasn't looked at the calendar, guarantee
I haven't looked at the calendar
yet. Daniel Jackson is our guest next week. Tell him about Daniel.
Daniel.
Is this your dad?
Daniel is
my uncle's brother's cousin's son's nephew.
Good Lord.
Nephews. So
I bet he was a
also
slave
related
owner.
to Sonia then, or
No, she's far enough cousin I can kiss her. So I've done Google that. So.
okay, so
Double cousins.
it's you. So
We're still recording.
Yes, we are. We are still live.
So I know what your family has done before they found a thing called television, apparently.
Oh,
Slave owning. What they did. They owned slaves. 14th Amendment.
Mothers, uncles, stepdaughters, cousin.
Who's the guest? I'm dying to know.
Daniel is a
best-selling author.
idiot. Yeah.
Every author can't be best-selling, all right? Every time you talk to a damn author, I'm a bestseller. No, you're not. Somebody's not selling best.
I'm not arguing with him. How do I? Hey, this podcast was in the top 10 one day for 1 hour, and as far as I'm concerned,
1 day for 1 hour.
As far as I'm concerned, we made it. So it's not a high bar with me.
And if you got 3 books and one of them's doing better than the other, then technically it's a bestseller.
That's right. So
You gotta have one book and it sells at least 5. It's a bestseller.
I don't have a book, so the way I see it, it's about he gets guidance from archangels, and he's a spirit medium, and he's going to tell you how to live your life right. And he's told me I've been here 29 times.
Well, I'm definitely coming to that one.
Apparently, I'm a slow learner. I didn't get it the first 28. So.
I've got to talk to him about angel numbers.
And he looked at me and said, "Son, you're going to be here 30." Like, damn it!
Bobby, did you just say that you wanted to talk to me about the enema?
Angel numbers.
Oh, angel numbers.
No, yeah,
Okay.
and the enema.
That's my ass.
I'm very constipated.
I thought you said enema.
I'd like to speak to Beelzebub about sticking some water in my butt.
Hey, speaking of angel numbers, I had that happen again over the weekend.
What?
The number again for me, and I just kind of laughed it off. I was like, okay, whatever. I see it again.
It happens to me all the time. I just follow it.
You need
It's
to
getting
have
ridiculous.
Tiffany bring you some sage.
It's getting ridiculous lately. I keep waiting on something to happen. The last time it happened, something did happen, so I'm just waiting on it.
Bobby, you'll be fine.
Oh, it is fine. It's always good. It's
Your
a good
number's
angel
gonna
number.
make you famous.
It's a good angel number.
Yeah, mine will be divorce or an STD or something. You know, it won't be anything good. They're both the same, right? So you can ask him about that because I'd like to know. I'll even throw my number out there then. So
I'm keeping mine secret. I told mine one time, and the person divorced me as a friend that day, so I'm never telling anybody else.
Wow. Well, I will never divorce you, Bobby.
Yeah.
So.
They got mad at me about something.
Hey man, my dog. They say my dog's birthday. This one, the little Russian spy. His birthday, he was born with angel numbers because his birthday is 12/12.
Well,
which means he's an angel.
I just brought the show to a complete grinding halt. So.
Looks more like a dog.
Yep.
Just saying.
And JT, you did a really good job tonight. You corralled us a few times, so you were kind of the serious one there a time or two. You're like, they'd stop being stupid. I can ask my questions.
The man holding the doll is telling us to really.
And Todd's froze again.
Every now and then, Todd switch.
just fake a seizure. Just
scratch your nose or something. You know?
Shit! Now Bobby's backwards. The world is upside down. Oh, don't get him getting his cameras out.
Oh, wait,
Buddy, I thought you were saying he's still slow. Yes, yes, he is.
No, he's doing like the slow sideways turn and like an oscillating fan.
I don't have time to do the multiple cameras again. That was hard. I got a cramp doing that shit.
What were you? Were you using one camera and you were just moving it all over the place real quick?
No, I had 4 different things going. I had my phone and laptop and everything. I was dialed in from different angles.
We saw all sides of Bobby that night.
Yes, we did. And he was wearing pants.
Well, and that was the night we met Mrs. Dizzle, so it was a good night. I think so.
No, that was
wasn't
before that we met her because
I thought he changed cameras that night with her.
Well, he did.
No.
But he didn't do. You told her that he did that one night, and they were all on him, and she said that figures.
I've noticed now he's got a padlock on the door when he comes in the studio. You can't come in here, Mrs. Dizzle. You're not allowed.
He's got a note on the door. No Miss Dizzles allowed.
Stay out. This means you. You're a hooligan.
You can't come play with my friends. Leave my friends alone.
You ruined it last time.
She wanted to see JT, or she wanted to see Shelton.
Everybody loves Shelton.
Everybody does.
Not true. Not true.
Well, everybody but Todd and Bobby, anyway.
I just can't look at it.
Really?
That's funny.
I'm telling you, man, he looks way better than some of them old-fashioned ones that they used to make with wood.
I know. I wish I had one of them.
Those were some freaky-looking shits.
Hey, I was going through some estate auctions. I was looking for one. If I find one, yeah. Apparently, you can go to online estate auctions now. I just found that out, so I didn't know that.
If you find one, make sure you got enough background on it. You don't want to bring that thing home.
No. I'm going to send it to you first.
Oh, okay.
And let you feel it out, and if it passes muster, and then send it to me.
Power of Christ, power of Christ, power of Christ.
And if it has something wrong, like something spiritual in it, something creepy, send it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Send it to me. I want that.
I can't send that to you, JT. You wouldn't be able to handle that.
Oh man, I would love it.
Fuck you up.
Nah. I mean, you can't fuck me up any more than I'm already fucked up. Trust me.
I don't sleep now. I don't want anything that goes bump in the night. So
put one of those little hand buzzers in it. That way, when you stick your hand up there, what the hell?
I kind of did make a mistake one night though, because I kind of got curious about opening portals, and
what was his name?
Well, listen, Holy Link. He was on the phone with me one night telling me I was home alone and it was the middle of the night, and I just for some reason listened to every word he said and repeated every word he said in the dark room in a mirror, and I really got scared because things started falling off the walls, things started getting thrown around. It was dark and I don't know what it was, but I couldn't go downstairs no more for the rest of the time I lived in that house, because every time I went downstairs, something creepy would happen. Yeah, so I stopped going down in that basement. That was one only basement I've ever.
You would think a person with the name of Holy Link would have a holy link. You would think.
He set me up. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, I had no clue. I was just listening to what he was saying. He told me to do it, and so I just followed his direction. And
so with that said, you want Brenda to send you more shit?
Do what?
If Brenda sends you more shit, then it's going to be like that again.
Oh man, I think I like it more now.
No,
I wouldn't like it.
Even if it was something that I would probably have to bind it before I even sent it to Glenn. So, yeah.
Well, I just think it would go good when that thing talked on its own for real.
Yeah.
On stage, everybody's like, "Look, I got sealed lips and this thing's still going." They're gonna be like, "Dang, he's doing it."
So what would happen is you'd have your hand up there, and all of a sudden it would start turning. We'd start hearing crack, 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 and be breaking your hand as it was turning. And then you wouldn't be able to scream because it would have your mouth held shut.
Shelton would do it.
Hey, I'm gonna sell this to my friend Dana, the director. That might be an idea for a horror flick with a ventriloquist.
Oh, you are so right.
And I nominate you.
Hey, you gonna deal with
why
me?
Shelton do a butt pucker and rip off JT's hand. Shit.
Well, it's like well, we were talking.
What happened to your hand? Shelton ripped it out with his bat.
Yeah, Brenda wasn't there. We ended up doing a recording, and I've still got to put that out. And we asked her about a zombie that had a ventriloquist that became a zombie, but the dummy was still alive, and so the arm is just kind of going down the way. It was a good interview. It was crappy connection and nothing worked right, but it was a good interview. So I got to put that one out. So
I want to see that movie. Show me that.
What the heck was that? It is.
She did say that she wanted to. She did say she wanted to do a short film with Shelton and I.
Yeah, creeped me out. She said, but that guy that the screen keeps locking up, don't invite him. So
Why he could really be a good character in something. I think he'd be good like one of them like because he's a big guy and he's got this beard, no longer beard. I think he'd be a good serial killer in there.
I was picturing as like a preacher that wasn't exactly a preacher. He kind of had twisted views. He kind of twisted views. So.
Or he could be chasing Shelton and I around all the time. Trying to kill us because he's scared of us.
Todd wouldn't even apply for that part. You said something in that sentence right there. Chasing. If he can go, hey, over here.
I guess that's what they do, right? They never run fast or anything.
Him and Bobby can team up and try to kill Shelton because they hate him.
I didn't say hate. I just said I love him.
In the movie, you would hate him.
Hate is such a strong word.
Maybe. Or the twist would be that I was helping the whole time, even though he thought that I was.
Right?
All right, Bobby. Which show are you putting out next? What do you got coming up?
Tomorrow, I've got an episode with Joe DeHoyas from Houston from the Beyond the Woodline podcast.
Cool.
Be premiering at 7 p.m. Central. And
that would be what in real time 8, wouldn't it? So
Sunday, hang on, yeah, probably. Who knows? No one knows your false time. And Sunday, I have something else happening. It is Heidi Stevens, a paranormal podcast, and I need to reach out to her to make sure it's still good.
Cool. I gotta stop saying cool. I find I say that too much. Todd, where can we find you and what do you got going on?
Token model, everything token model, and I got an ounce and about 17 cigars going on.
Sweet. JT, we haven't got a place for you yet, but we're gonna find it. So, Brenda, we're just not gonna tell you what's going on. So,
yeah, why? I'll find out eventually.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
And speaking of Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, that's when you can find Big Brother over on CBS. Yes. But they don't pay me, so we're not talking about them. Tomorrow you can tune into the Big Chat. Oh, man. And it will be me, JT, maybe Corey, and I don't think Dina's going to make it this week. So
no, I don't think she is.
What? You no, Todd, you're not invited. So
I wouldn't show.
Okay.
He took the padlock off.
No, they busted in.
They can open doors.
Oh, God. Right.
It's a family show. Hey, yeah. all we can see is like part of him. At least, like, there we go. You can wave to the camera. Hey, how you doing? They can't hear us, can they, Bobby? How you doing? Oh, they are definitely little dizzles. But yeah, tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, right after the live eviction, if there is a live eviction, because there was some controversy. Have they already announced that?
No, but there's not. Anytime somebody leaves the house, and this has been a history thing, there's no eviction on Thursday.
But this is the 25th year, so who knows? They may do something special, and we'll obviously have to talk about the events in the house, unfortunately. Yes. So. Don't do what I did.
Yeah,
so.
Don't do what I did.
Yeah, that's what the name of the episode should be. Don't do what I did.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
I like Touch the Nub.
Tomorrow on Touch the Nub, will Todd smoke the whole bowl?
Apparently, my guest on Sunday is a Reiki practitioner.
A Reiki practitioner?
All right. They work. I've had them work on me before.
That can be Shelby's only fan too, right?
Teaches a paranormal investigation class at night.
And she taught me about tantric sex, but that was another thing. We need to find somebody to talk about sex magic for Bobby. So
I'm gonna go to a bar, take my leg off, and have to let me fill it with beer and make me a drink out of it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next week.